Mystics, pull your chair a little closer to the fire. Tonight, the air is thick, the shadows are restless, and something unseen is knocking to be heard. In the stillness of a grand old hall, footsteps echo where no living soul should walk. Is it a trick of the light or the lingering gaze of a ghost? She is known as the Brown Lady of Raynham Hall, Britain's most photographed ghost, and perhaps its most famous. Captured in 1936, descending the grand staircase, her translucent form clad in a brown brocade gown. The image shocked the world, but her legend began long before the shutter clicked. Locals whisper she's the spirit of Lady Dorothy Walpole, sister to Britain's first Prime Minister. Betrayed in life, she was locked away in the hall until her death in 1726. They say her eyes, hollow, yet burning with sorrow, still roam the corridors she never escaped. Guests over centuries have reported her presence, a cold, sudden stillness, the rustle of silk in empty rooms, and that face, pale, unblinking, hovering in the dark. Skeptics claim it's double exposure, a clever photographic trick. Believers say you can't fake the feeling in your bones when the air turns heavy and the shadows start to breathe. Tonight, we descend the staircase of time to uncover the truth. Who is the Brown Lady? A masterpiece of myth-making, or the eternal prisoner of Raynham Hall? One thing's for certain, the hall still stands, and so does her story. And if you dare to visit, perhaps she'll come greet you.
Did you know one of the most famous ghost photos ever taken was captured in 1936? Prepare to be intrigued. Raynham Hall in Norfolk, England, home to the mysterious Brown Lady. For centuries, tales of her ghostly presence have haunted the halls. In September 1936, photographers from Country Life magazine visited Raynham Hall. They were there to capture images for an article, but what they caught was far more chilling. As they set up their equipment, a ghostly figure appeared on the staircase. The photographers snapped a picture, which would later become legendary. The photograph shows a translucent figure descending the stairs, believed to be Lady Dorothy Walpole. She died in 1726, yet her spirit reportedly never left. Experts have analyzed the photo for decades, many agreeing it's genuine. Some skeptics argue it's a clever trick, but no one has definitively debunked it. Raynham Hall continues to attract paranormal enthusiasts, all hoping to catch a glimpse of the Brown Lady. Her story lives on, captivating imaginations worldwide. So, do you believe in ghosts? The Brown Lady of Raynham Hall might just change your mind.
A haunting at Raynham Hall in Norfolk, England, has captured imaginations for decades. In 1936, a photographer captured a ghostly figure known as the Brown Lady on film. The Brown Lady is believed to be the spirit of Lady Dorothy Walpole, who died under mysterious circumstances in the 1700s. The photo, taken by journalists, is one of the most famous alleged ghost images ever captured. Photographic experts at the time and since say it was not a double exposure or other photographic trick. Lady Dorothy's fate remains a mystery. Officially, it was smallpox, but some believe her cruel husband, Charles Townshend, may have poisoned her. Could this be why her spirit haunts Raynham Hall? Don't miss our full-length episodes and subscribe for more mysteries on Uncanny Alley.
The building of Raynham Hall in West Norfolk started in 1619 by Sir Roger Townshend. In 1713, Charles Townshend married Sir Robert Walpole's sister, Dorothy. Unbeknownst to him, she had been the mistress of Lord Wharton and some believe that he didn't take too kindly to finding this out. He was known for his bad temper, and so he allegedly locked her in some rooms in Raynham Hall, and we don't really know what happened after that. It's believed she died in 1726. Some say of smallpox, some say of syphilis, and some say that she broke her neck after she was pushed down the stairs. After whatever happened, strange things started taking place at Raynham Hall. Whilst spending the night there, the future George IV was awoken by a woman in a brown dress, looking dishevelled, and he left immediately, declaring he would not spend another hour in the accursed house. Another time, a house guest saw in the middle of the night a lady coming towards him in the corridor, not wanting her to see him in his state of undress. I believe he was wearing just a shirt and trousers. He pulled into a doorway and stood behind the door and looked through the gap to check when she had passed. So he waits there, he can see the light coming along the corridor, he thinks it's probably one of the ladies going to the nursery, and he's with two of his friends. And as the woman draws level with the door, she turns to look at them through the crack and holds the light up to her face and grins at them, and there are dark sockets where her eyes should be. In the late 1930s, Country Life want to do a piece on Raynham Hall, and they send a journalist and a photographer round, and the photographer is taking photos, and when the photos are being developed, this is what they see. This photograph is now famously called The Brown Lady of Raynham Hall, and The Brown Lady of Raynham Hall is what we discuss in this Patreon exclusive mini-sode, which you can find on the Patreon.
Hey there, spooky nerds! This is probably one of the most famous ghost photos ever taken. Let me tell you about it. Believed to be the spirit of Lady Dorothy Walpole, she is known as the Brown Lady of Raynham Hall. So legend has it that Dorothy was entrapped at the 17th century Raynham Hall in Norfolk, England, after her husband, Charles Townshend, learned she had previously had an affair with his rival. So she died either of smallpox or of mysterious circumstances in 1726. And by 1835, there were already reports of her ghost spotted wearing, you guessed it, a brown dress. Fast forward to 1936. Photographer Captain Hubert C. Provand and his assistant Indra Shira, they weren't looking for ghosts when they were snapping pics of Raynham for the British Country Life magazine. They had already shot one photo of the grand staircase, and as they set up for another, Shira saw, quote, a vapory form gradually assuming the appearance of a woman moving down those steps. Provand took the shot, and the negative later revealed what appears to be a specter of a female form descending this staircase. The photo, it was published in Country Life that same year, and then in Life magazine in the United States in January 1937. The photo became known worldwide, and it still is. As far as paranormal investigations go, Harry Price, who was an investigator and noted debunker, he thought that the men's story at the time was impressive, and he said, quote, the negative is entirely innocent of any faking. Now, Harry Price has some of his own issues in the paranormal investigation realm, and we'll get to that at another time. But as far as the Brown Lady of Raynham Hall, what do you think? Real ghost? Clever hoax? Sound off and let me know.
They say she still walks the grand staircase, her hollow eyes glowing faintly in the dark, and her brown dress trailing behind like smoke. At Raynham Hall in Norfolk, England, something haunts the shadows, something that was photographed, not imagined. And what if I told you that photo is still considered one of the most credible ghost images ever captured? The Brown Lady is believed to be the ghost of Lady Dorothy Walpole, who died in 1726. though some say she didn't die. She was imprisoned in the house by her jealous husband, left to rot in a hidden room. Since then, guests and servants have seen her gliding silently through corridors, her face eerily lit, empty eyes staring. But the story exploded in 1936. Two photographers from Country Life magazine were taking shots of the main staircase when a misty, translucent figure appeared. They snapped a photo, and when it was developed, there she was, descending the stairs in a flowing brown gown. No one could explain it. No double exposure, no trick of light, just her. Skeptics have tried to debunk it for decades, but no one succeeded. The image remains chilling, the legend unshaken. Witnesses, real people, still report encounters in that very hallway. Doors slam, lights flicker, and sometimes, just for a second, a woman in brown stands watching. So if you ever visit Raynham Hall, don't look up that staircase, or maybe do, because she's still waiting. And this time, you might be the one who captures her.
This is the most famous ghost photo ever taken, and no one's been able to explain it. Raynham Hall, Norfolk. A grand old English estate with secrets buried behind velvet curtains. Servants spoke of footsteps in empty corridors, cold winds with no source, and a presence that watched from the shadows. But no one believed them until 1936. Two photographers were on assignment, taking pictures of the main staircase, when suddenly she appeared, a translucent figure, drifting down the stairs in a brown brocade gown. Eyes empty sockets, glowing faintly. They took the shot. What they captured has haunted the world ever since. They say it's the ghost of Lady Dorothy Walpole, locked away by her husband, starved of freedom, and left to die. But her spirit never moved on. Now, they say she still walks the stairs, every year, every winter, gliding in silence. Would you dare stay the night in Raynham Hall?
It hangs on a wall, an old photograph, grainy, uneventful at first glance, but look closer, and you'll see something no one has ever explained. This is Raynham Hall in Norfolk, one of England's oldest and most haunted estates. For centuries, staff and visitors whispered of a silent woman in brown gliding down the staircase, face veiled, eyes glowing faintly in the dark. In 1936, two photographers, Captain Provand and Indre Shearer, were sent to capture the hall's interior. As they framed the sweeping staircase, something shifted. The air grew cold, still. Shearer spotted her first, a figure forming in the mist, slowly descending the steps. Provand, shaking, pulled off the lens cap. Shearer hit the shutter, and in that blink, they caught her. The infamous brown lady, believed to be the ghost of Lady Dorothy Walpole. Centuries earlier, her husband imprisoned her within Raynham's walls after discovering an affair. She died there in 1726, but never truly left. She's there still, locked in that moment, on that staircase, her presence undeniable, her image unforgettable.
A Royal Navy captain once fired his revolver point blank at a ghost, and the bullet passed straight through, lodging in the door behind it. This incredible encounter happened at Raynham Hall in 1836, when Captain Frederick Marriott tried to debunk the famous Brown Lady haunting. Here's what makes this case extraordinary for paranormal research. Unlike most ghost stories, this one has multiple credible witnesses spanning centuries, including military officers and professional photographers. The 1936 photograph taken by Country Life magazine photographers remains one of the most authenticated paranormal images ever captured. The key lesson for ghost hunters is documentation. Quality matters more than quantity. Professional equipment, credible witnesses, and proper conditions create legitimate evidence. Most supernatural claims fall apart under scrutiny, But Raynham Hall's Brown Lady has withstood 200 years of investigation because the witnesses were respected professionals with nothing to gain from lying about their terrifying encounters. Hit the like button, subscribe, and share if you find this interesting, and leave a comment to support us.
This mysterious ghost photo taken of the Brown Lady of Raynham Hall is one of the most famous ghost photos ever taken. It was shot in 1936 by photographers who were documenting the hall for a magazine. As photographer Captain Hubert Provand had his head buried in his focusing cloth, his assistant viewed a veiled form gliding down the grand oak stairs. And just as they went to take the picture, the figure vanished. They snapped the photo but were convinced that they had just imagined it. However, the development process showed that they had in fact encountered a real-life ghost. The ghost was thought to be of Lady Dorothy Townshend, who had been seen several times during the 1800s. She officially died from smallpox in 1726, but legend has it that her husband locked her in her bedroom for committing adultery, where he left her to die.
So, mystics, until our next descent into the shadows, keep your minds open, your questions sharper than silver, and your candles burning bright. This is Champagne Mystique, where the shadows speak and